This morning, we've got a little bit lighter. Actually, this is a good. We've done this one before. It was number 38. So it's going to seem right when we get started. It's going to seem like a little bit easy after the first, maybe the first round through. But as soon as we go through the second or get into the second one, it'll get a little more challenging because we're going to do this 4 times. And so lateral bound. The rest is we're slowly swapping work and rest. So we start with 10 seconds for the lateral bound, and then we have 50 seconds off, 20 seconds for the staggered push-up, which I'll show you, 40 seconds off, and then 30 seconds of goblet squats, 30 seconds off. So it's basically we're going at the top of every minute, and the work just increases. So we go 10 for the lateral bound, 20 for the push-up, 30 for the goblet squat, 20 for the single leg glute bridge, and 40 for the single leg glute bridge, and 50 for the side plank. Okay, so for lateral bound, we're just jumping side to side. All right, step or jump side to side. So that's just here, stepping and landing, stepping or hopping and landing. All right, so we're going to push back and forth for 10 seconds. The staggered push-up is one hand in front of the other. So if this is a regular push-up position, the staggered push-up is going to be hands one in just barely in front of the other, like maybe heel of one hand to the fingertips of your other hand. Okay, and at 10 seconds, we'll switch that. So for a total of 20 seconds there, goblet squat, holding the weight up high, nice and tight under your chin, squatting down, keeping your feet flat on the floor. Glute bridge, laying down on your back, give one knee a hug, press your other heel into the ground. I'll show you when we get there. And then side plank is either from your knees or from your feet. We're just going to be on an elbow on your side. You can also put your hand on the ground. Okay, if you have your hand on the ground, maybe you're able to separate your feet. There's lots of different ways to do that, but I'll show you those when we get there. Okay, so let's get on the roller. All right. Yesterday we started on the front of your leg, so today let's start on the back. Just working your way up, giving everything a once over. Down below your knees. Change the angle, make sure we're not just going straight up and down, but you're also turning your toes in to point at each other, turning your toes out. Good, let's move up above your knees. Again, giving different angles there. You can move your feet in, move your feet out. And bringing it up to your hips. Cross an ankle over your knee. Rolling out one cheek. So I'm using the new AirPod mic today. So you'll have to let me know if you hear just like heavy breathing in the middle of the circuit. I've kind of avoided this thus far, but doing the circuits in the gym here, the audio has not been great. So we'll give this a shot and see. So if all you hear is me mouth breathing during the workout, then I don't know, we'll figure out a different thing. But for now, we'll try this. I know Evan uses them and he does pretty well with it. So. Okay, good. So if you have something smaller, like one of the smaller, shorter Rollgo rollers or a tennis ball, lacrosse ball, something like that, you can use that here. You can also just use this roller, but we're gonna roll like your chest, your pec area. All right, so for here, you can just sort of put your chest on it and roll. You can also sort of pin your chest. So we're putting your pec right on there and then moving your muscle around that. So it's kind of, they both do different things, but they're both effective in kind of rolling out the chest area. So especially if you've, you know, as we go through this, if you're doing a lot of push-ups and that kind of stuff, this area can get kind of tight. So we just sort of get this up under your armpit, more on the chest side of your armpit. So we shouldn't be like bruising anything on your shoulder or pressing into your shoulder here. And then let's switch sides. So I'll do a little bit of both, rolling and also, I guess you would sort of call this like flossing, where you're pinning one side down and then moving things around it. All right, from here, we're just gonna stay on your front or on your stomach, but put your elbows under you and bring your head up so you're looking forward. So we're looking again, nice even distribution of the curve through your spine. So for me, it's, if I'm not paying attention, it's really easy for me to feel this as kind of one kink in my low back. But if I keep my belly strong, pull my shoulder blades down, pull my chin in, it helps me get the top of my head to the ceiling and even out that curve so that each spine segment takes a little bit of the curve or the extension. And so from here, I'm just looking to mobilize or open up the spine. All right, from here, you're gonna look over your shoulder. All right, so if I look over my left shoulder, I'm trying to look at my right heel, and vice versa, looking over my right shoulder, trying to spot my left heel. Make sure you're looking up and over, not down and around your arm. So we want to stay up tall, keep those elbows pushed down through the floor. And good. From there, we'll just push up to all fours, or sorry, you'll stay on your elbows, but you're going to be more in that crawling position. And we're going to reach forward, arm comes up and around behind your back. So as you raise your arm, you're going to raise a straight arm with your thumb up. Roll your palm as you get towards your back. You're going to be kind of hovering that hand off your back. And let's switch sides. Try to keep everything nice and centered here. We shouldn't be shifted off to one side. As you raise your thumb towards the ceiling with a straight arm, as you raise your thumb towards the ceiling, you shouldn't find your shoulder crunching up near your ear. All right, so we want to pull that shoulder down and almost think about your arm raising because your shoulder blade is pulling down your back and sort of levering it up. And then we can go ahead and go on around. Okay, good. From there, we'll come up to seated on your heels. So still that crawling position or all fours position. And then we're going to sit back. Hand comes up behind your head, rotating up towards the ceiling. It's a big rotation here. Try to touch your elbow to your other arm and open. So we got 20 seconds here. And let's do the other side. As you're doing this, make sure you are keeping your butt glued to your heels. not shifting side to side. All right, so we're gonna do kind of rolling through the Spider-Man complex here. So we'd start in the push-up position, float your foot up next to your hand. So now your knee and foot are outside your hand and armpit. So we're here, try to straighten that front leg, back down, and we'll switch. So we're gonna kind of roll through this, getting those two stretches, foot comes forward. Really try to sink your hips down toward the floor. Straighten your front leg for that hamstring stretch. And we're just cycling between the two. So you can go at your speed here. We're gonna go for about 20 more seconds. We wanna end up with about 5 or 4 on each side. But if you like the way the stretch feels in a certain spot, probably means you need a stretch in that spot. So you can hold it there. And good. Okay, last bit of warm up here. We're gonna do some lateral lunges, just stepping out to the side and getting ready for our circuit. All right, so we just step out and we'll alternate these, stepping out to one side and then the other. Five more seconds. And good. Okay, so as I said, we're gonna go 10 seconds for the lateral bound. Everything after that, I will let you know. Got 5 exercises, 4 times through. So a total of 20 minutes today, okay? All right, so lateral bound, your choice. We're either stepping or jumping side to side, making sure that we stick each landing with really good balance. All right, we'll get started in 5 seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and here we go. 10 seconds, lateral bound, stepping back and forth. And rest. All right, so like I said, the first one is gonna seem like there's not much work involved here, but when that's backed up to 50 seconds of side plank, it's a little bit of a different story. So give it time. Plus, whenever we do jumping, any kind of jumping or explosive thing like that, we want lots of rest after it and before it preferably, but because we want you to be relatively fresh when you do those. Okay, staggered push-up is next. You're gonna be in that push-up position, hands slightly offset. Make sure you stay straight in between your hands. Don't let yourself curl up. And here we go. We've got 10 seconds in one position, 10 seconds in the other one. And switch your hands. Don't let yourself curl or arch into this. And rest. A lot of times what happens is, if my right arm is forward, people will tend to move their body sideways like that to try to even out their hands. But we want to try to keep that good solid position straight down the middle. So that means one side's going to end up doing a little bit more of like a tricep push-up, be in here, and the other one, your arm might be out to the side. Okay, 15 seconds. Find your weight for a goblet squat. All right, we've got 30 seconds of goblet squats. Ready? And here we go. Feet stay nice and flat on the floor. Hold the weight up under your chin or down low. Making sure your chest stays up through all of these. left. Two, one, and relax. Glute bridge is next. Be lying on your back. Give one knee a hug. The other leg, you're going to press your heel down into the floor, using your butt cheek to do that work. 10 seconds left to rest. Ready? And here we go. I'll switch you halfway through. Making sure you're not overextending your back or overarching. You don't have to push up to the ceiling, but we do want you using your full hip range. And switch feet. If you're getting any kind of hamstring cramping here, think about or try maybe moving your heel closer to your butt. You can also just put a little bit of forward pressure into your shoe, like you're trying to push your foot in, your toes into the front of your shoe. And rest. Okay, side plank is next. We can do that either from your knees at the modified version or a straight body, or we can even go one leg. All right, here we go. 25 seconds each side. So the second time through this circuit is when things start to catch up with you a little bit. This is one where you can definitely go hard while you're going because there's lots of rest. All right, let's switch sides. Top foot's going to be set in front. Ten seconds left. Two, one, and relax. Okay, right up into the lateral bound in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Big strong jumps, 10 seconds. And rest. So Tuesdays are going to be a little bit lighter intensity days anyway. So you've got lots of rest built in here. Make sure that when you're working, you're doing really good work. This might be a chance to try to improve your speed on the push-ups with full range of motion. If you have the luxury of choosing different weights at your house, you could go for a little bit heavier goblet squat. All right, staggered push-up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. One hand slightly in front of the other. Switch. And rest. Good. Goblet squats are next. Twenty seconds left to rest. Goblet squats in 10 seconds. 2, 1. Here we go. Ten seconds left. 2, 1, rest. Okay, glute bridges next. On the glute bridges, we're looking for the work to be in your cheeks. All right, and here we go, 20 seconds each side. Pressing that heel down through the floor. Your leg that's off the ground should stay nice and close to your chest. We're not reaching it up towards the ceiling because we don't want to arch your back up. So even as you press through the floor, keeping your thigh close to your chest. Switch. Should be on the other leg here. Three, two, one, relax. Stand down on the floor for a side plank. Four, three, and side plank. Here we go. Making sure your shoulders are stacked right up on top of each other. So drop a straight line through your top shoulder. Should go through your bottom shoulder, through your elbow. 5 seconds left. 2, 1, roll right over to the other side. Ten seconds left. 3, 2, 1, relax. All right, we're halfway done. Going back up to the top for lateral bounds. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. We don't have to go long here, so go nice and strong. 10 seconds. 2, 1, rest. I'll give you guys a sneak peek. This will come out later today, but this August, we're going to do a little team challenge. So start thinking of your team. We're going to do teams of 3. And I will tell you, Ted, I know your activity level. Ted's going to be a good teammate, Andres. So you might want to snatch him up quick. Okay, push-ups. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Staggered stance, one hand slightly in front of the other. Switch. And rest. So yeah, I'll give out more details, but pretty much it's going to be a little team competition where you get points for certain activities, joining these workouts, of course. But something to spice up August, because it's, I don't know if it's just me, but things seem a little like plateaued right now. So we're going to find a way to bump it up. Okay, goblet squats in 2, 1, here we go. Halfway there. Five seconds. 2, 1, rest. Okay, glute bridge is coming up next. 10 seconds. All right, 2, 1, here we go. Every time you tap to the floor here, check in, make sure your low back isn't arched up. Switch, moving to the other leg. So yeah, every time you get to the bottom is a good chance to check in. Make sure you're not starting to arch up. I know that's my MO for sure, is to use a little bit of that low back extension to get this done. And rest. So every time you tap back down to the ground, you should feel a little bit of your low back in contact with the ground. All right, side plank coming up. 3, 2, 1, here we go. 25 seconds each side. Ten seconds on this side, and then we're rolling right over. Make sure your elbows pushed strong into the ground, keeping your body away. And roll it over, other side. Ten seconds left on this side. Then we're into our final round. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, last time through. And here we go, lateral bound. 2, 1, rest. All right, 20 seconds. Working our way into the staggered push-ups. If you like this format, you can easily flip-flop some things and make it much, much harder. I'll explain in just a second. All right, staggered push-ups, here we go. Switch hands, or switch the stagger of your hands. And rest. So for example, you could see how if you switch the glute bridge and the push-ups, things would get a lot more challenging, feel a lot more challenging. So the glute bridge, you'd only be doing 20 seconds. The push-ups you'd be doing for 40 seconds, which is significantly harder. You could also move the goblet squats to 40 or 50 seconds and bring the side plank into the 30-second slot. So there are ways to make this format really challenging, but today is not as challenging as it could be. All right, here we go. What are we doing here? Goblet squats. This is the meat and potatoes, actually. Ten seconds left. and rest. I'm gonna do a few more because I was a little tardy to the party. Okay. Glute bridge is next. Remember, you're keeping that thigh close to you as you push up. Checking in, tapping your low back to the ground each time. 2, 1, and here we go. Three seconds. And switch sides. You should get about 15 to 18 reps in here. Three seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Last interval coming up. Side plank. Do whatever variation works for you. If you're feeling good, you can step it up. Try the next level to challenge yourself. And here we go. So the next level from here would be one leg up. So only one leg on the ground. Your other one's just gonna hover above it. 10 seconds left on this side. 5. And switch sides. Making sure your hips are pushed forward in a nice straight line. Everything's stacked right up on top of each other. 10 seconds left. 5, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, that's a wrap for today. Like I said, if you like that format, you can play a little shell game and move the exercises around or add ones that you think are more challenging. But this is one that kind of keeps your brain working also. So you've got to stay engaged with the workout. Some people like that. Some people don't like to have to think. But I like to be more engaged with the workout. So that's all we got for today. I got to head out. But was the audio good today? Pretty good? Okay. All right. So look for more information about the Active August Team Challenge this afternoon. And I'm excited to announce that. So hopefully it'll be a lot of fun for you guys. But we'll talk to you later.